you're probably going to have to bear with me at points through this one. Oh God. So yesterday I had my third visa refused for Australia, except this time with a 3-year ban. Basically, I want to do this video because I love to help people, obviously, and I don't want anyone to get into the same situation that I did, the same situation that I find myself in right now. And although I believe and trust in the universe and it will point me in the right direction, and obviously Australia isn't meant for me, I feel very hard done by, to be honest, because partly with everything you have to take responsibility and ownership, but also I think I'd be doing people injustice, is that the right word, if I didn't express how I feel about certain situations within this process. So I'll get into it. So 8 months ago in April, I was told that I needed to leave Australia. At the time I was on a tourist visa inside of Australia, and the majority of that tourist visa was spent in lockdown. So at the end of the completion of that visa, I applied for an extension of my tourist visa because obviously I wasn't able to go anywhere in Australia because I was locked down. The government come back and said, you've been a tourist for too long, you need to show ties with your home country, so you need to leave Australia for a reasonable amount of time before coming back in. Which I was like, fair enough, I'm not going to dispute that. It's not what I want to do, but I'll listen to immigration, do as they say, and head back whenever. Then, because I felt I'd basically fucked up the immigration process and the visa process, I was like, the next time that I'm in this situation, I'm going to find a visa agent and I'm going to get them to deal with this stress. Because ultimately, when you're looking for someone and you use a service, you're going to someone to say, I don't know how to do this, this is your profession, this is your job, please offset this stress from me and get me to the desired destination that I want to get to. Which is what I did. I took a few months. When I was back home, I was in the UK for about a month, then I went around Europe for about a month, and then whilst I was doing that, I was doing like due diligence on what visa agents I want to go with, and I decided to go for, and I'm going to say this really slowly because I want you to make sure that you hear this visa agent's name. I worked with Jonathan Granger from Granger, Australia, and I engaged with him at the beginning of July and basically said, look, I want to go back to Australia and see my mates, but I don't know if I've been outside of Australia for long enough to then go back as a tourist. What is the crack? And he said, don't worry, Nath, you'll be alright. You've actually got a nil vac visa, which is waiting for you because you're eligible, because through your second year in Australia, it was heavily affected by COVID. So therefore, the Australian government, if you decided to stay in Australia through COVID and you're onshore, you can get a nil vac visa, which is basically a replacement of the year that you lost because of COVID. But I told him that I stayed in Australia, so therefore I couldn't apply for that visa offshore. Stated that to him. And he said, no, that's not the case, you can apply now. So I said, well, I'm looking to go in as a tourist, but if I've got this visa in the bank, then I'll just go down that route. So that's what I did. He submitted that. He took $1,300 of my money. Then he submitted that, and then I didn't hear from him for 6 weeks. In that 6 weeks, I was messaging him, emailing him, saying what's going on, what's the updates, because obviously I didn't expect it to take 6 weeks to get processed or looked at. No, nothing back. And then 6 weeks later, he come back to me and basically said, sorry, I've been on holiday and my whole family have had COVID, that's why I've been silent. Not being funny, we've all got smartphones, mate. So you could literally either 1, communicate that you've got COVID, 2, communicate you're on holiday, or 3, give me an update, like what's a text or a fucking email about my visa. And he told me that because I was offshore, I couldn't apply for that visa. So what I had said to him at the beginning of the process was actually true. So I'd wasted 6 weeks then in terms of getting back. So then I was like, what's my next move? He was like, well, you've been out of the country for over 5 months now. That's definitely enough time to be away from Australia to then go back inside of Australia to see your mates and do whatever else, see the rest of the country that you ain't seen, whatever. So I was like, cool, let's apply for that. Then he applied for it. Then every day I was hounding him and his PA because that visa is meant to take 3 days to get processed. It actually took a month and 4 days, I think. Yeah, 32 days it took to get processed. But again, I didn't hear from him for 6 weeks. So for 2 weeks after this visa got refused again because he didn't do his due diligence, and where my previous visa was refused for being a tourist for too long, immigration need evidence to show that I'm a genuine tourist. But he just sent the visa off without doing any due diligence, attaching any information that I'd given him. He just sent it. And 2 weeks later he told me, oh yeah, your visa got refused 2 weeks ago. I can apply for you again though. And obviously at that point, I was like, no way, mate. I'm not working with you. You've taken my money. You fucked up on 2 visas. Like, if anything, and the evidence that I have is telling me you're not very good at your job, I need to get away from you. So I think he was panicking because obviously the experience that I had with him. So he set up a Zoom call and I said to him, look, appreciate all your help, but I'm going to do it on my own because everything, your communication is ridiculous and you're adding nothing but stress to my life. So with that he said, okay, this is what you need to do. And I asked him one question about the visa that I was unsure on, and he told me, I've got it in writing, he told me to say no to this question, which I'd already filled out on the application as yes. But he said, no, you don't need to do that because on your other applications it says no, so just press no. Did that, and then yesterday obviously immigration come back to me and basically said that I have been fraudulent on my application, and because of that it inherits a 3-year ban. Now in the application as well it says that I can't appeal, and it's so hard to say because over the last 8 months obviously I've tried so hard to get back into Australia, and the whole 8 months every day visualizing my life and getting back, seeing my mates, whatever. So to have that taken away, it's a bit like yesterday I thought I was going to bawl my eyes out, but I think I was just in shock, to be honest. Whereas today, obviously the messages that I've had from people on like Instagram, people that signed up to my email list, everything like that, they have sort of hit me in the feels. But now it's sort of a realisation that I can't go back in till I'm almost 34, which obviously that age is nothing but a number, but it's a hard one to take because also I've got my mates' engagement party coming up, weddings, just things that I'm going to miss with like the people that I love, all because yes, I want to make it very, very clear. I chose every single decision. I chose this visa agent. I chose to go with him after he showed me that he didn't know what he was doing. I chose to take his advice after he showed me twice that he didn't know what he was doing. I clicked the button. But if this video helps one person like steer away from this company, Granger Australia, Jonathan Granger, I'll be fucking buzzing, because I don't want them or you, I don't want them to put you in a position where you're sitting here not allowed to go to a country that you absolutely love because of the advice given by a so-called professional. And I can't believe that he actually came highly recommended to me, and I just can't believe that. I don't know whether he just saw, not saying I'm fucking rich as fuck, but I don't know if he just saw me as like dollar signs, saw my situation, he was like, yeah, cool, that's quick money, and didn't give a shit about my process. But that's exactly how I feel. And now, obviously I've spent 4 years in Oz, do you know what I mean? So now it's gut-wrenching. I'm absolutely gutted. I don't really know what I can do, what to do, how to process it. I'm sure that will take a few days, but I just think that I try and create content to help people all the time, and this is something that I don't want any other person to be treated in this way. Like, I actually don't want anyone to feel the way that I am feeling right now, because yes, the place is amazing and I absolutely love Australia, but the friendships that I've built over the last 4 years, doing my sunrises at Bondi, like, that's something that has now been taken away from me because of poor advice, misleading information. So yeah, all I can say is to anyone, like, if you are looking to use a visa agent, just steer clear of this bloke, because he is one of a kind, no doubt about it. And what made it so bad is basically immigration requested more information from me about why I'd selected no instead of yes. And when I said to him, you've advised me to select no instead of yes, he actually had the cheek and audacity to say, I don't mind jumping on a consultation call, but that will cost you money, after fucking up 2 visas and misleading me on this 3rd visa. So that just shows what type of bloke he is, and I hope that he sees this. I hope that as many people as possible see it, because he should not be in business. If you looked at anyone, like if someone come to me as an online coach and was like, Nath, this is where I am, this is where I want to be, like, my job is to take them to that destination with the least amount of stress. Whereas I've paid this bloke, he's not taken me to the destination and 3-year ban stress. And what? I engaged with him at the start of July, and it's now December. So what's that, 5 months? 5 months of wasted money, wasted time, and not the result that I wanted. So devastated is probably the best word to use. I am, again, everything does happen for a reason. I know that for a fact. And whatever this path is meant for me, like right now, looking forward, I cannot connect the dots. I don't know why this has happened, but if I know anything about myself, I'll make the best of any situation. So we shall see, we shall see. But yeah, Granger Australia, do not use them. I've got a 3-year ban because of their advice and me taking it, which I shouldn't have, because I should have understood that they're not very good at what they do. So yeah, hope that video helps. Obviously I'm just fucking trying to hold the tears back so it doesn't really flow like my usual ones, but oh yeah, of course, like and subscribe please. The videos are usually a lot more uplifting, I promise you of that. But yeah, I'll catch you in the next one and I'll be more chirpy, I promise.